everyone. Welcome. Hazel, stay right where you're at. Make sure you've got your phone set at live chat, not top chat. That way you will see the most current comments. Hazel's like, I'm lost. No, you're not. You're here. So let's see if the video starts for me on my tablet. It hasn't yet. Make sure you... Oh, yeah, the viscosity. Yep, you guys are talking about the silicone. I may have to go in and out. You're not missing anything, guys. Oh, my goodness. I'm just so grateful that you're here, watching everybody's comments as we're coming on. You know, it really warms my heart that you guys want to come in and watch me play every day, you know. Oh, good, the TikTok commercial's on. Maybe we'll be able... You'll wait forever. No, that's not good. That's no bueno. We don't want anybody waiting forever. But hang on, let me get this tablet thing because go watch. Michelle, I need to actually talk to you. Michelle is the only live human being I know that is close enough to drive to me. And I am pretty shy about asking for help. Why will it now not let me see the chat? I'm having the same issue you guys are having now. Give me live chat. It's blank. Let me go out. Close the box. Go back to lives. This is what you guys have to do sometimes. Go back in. And hello all, says Audra. And hello everybody. I only have 5 minutes on my lunch break. I've got 5 minutes to tell you everything I'm going to do today. Oh my goodness, Shannon. Special hi to Leslie. Thank you, Renee. That's very sweet of you guys. So even my mom knows to leave me alone. You guys are funny. We're just playing with color. And we can also watch the replays, but you're too kind. I think you guys are getting on. Putting an extra glove on here. It's always about the gloves on epoxy day, man. Never enough gloves, paper towels, alcohol, puppy pads. And no matter how tidy I like to get it, thank you, it is much better live. I think so. It's more fun. You get to hear your name said, right? So we can all talk. Yes. What do you mean you can all talk? Oh, come on, left hand. Let me get the extra glove on. I do wear these tight, long-necked gloves. I wear them, but... Oh, there is a way to do that. I don't know about your iPad. I don't think Sherry's in here today. She's got doggy class. She watches it on the iPad, and she may have some advice for you. Hi, Karen. How are you doing, honey? Welcome. So my task in the next 48 hours is to, no big task, finish up all the neons, shoot them, name them, get them up on the website. No big deal. In between all the other stuff that's going on here, I'm just trying to make sure I get sufficient rest. But this morning I was fooling around with trying to nail down the green turquoise versus a more blue turquoise. This one says bluer on it. Yeah, what's kind of cool about watching me do this, the regulars already know this, anybody new, is it's pretty rare to actually see the development and process, me experimenting in front of you guys, seeing what we can come up with. That last piece was really weird. That red is so dang strong. Let me flip this over. that red, that Carnival mixed with the, thank you, sweetheart, the Hugs and Kisses. That Hugs and Kisses is meant to be a very, very dry red wine, and it lived right up to its promise, right? I'm kind of liking what happened over here. That was kind of an interesting little blip. It'll be really pretty under resin. Yeah, it's weird how it did a little yin yang. And even though the center kind of went awry because of all the iridescence in here, it's interesting. I do like how that interference blue looks like it's popping up here. I'd like to do that on purpose on a whole, do this on purpose on a bigger piece. I kind of like that effect, having that red go on the top of that blue. Now, the interference I used in the background of this was the gold and the blue. And that gold that we mixed with the pink, it did pick up a lot of that red. Because remember, this time I made the gold more of a rose gold, like an ambrosia color. Hey there, Miss McGee. Miss McGee is in the house. Yes, it's in the house. Miss McGee is in the house. So this was kind of interesting. What do you agree with Audra? What did Audra say? Oh, it dried great. Thank you. Probably needs a little epoxy, obviously. It'd be so much prettier once this thing gets resin. I could have a giant resin day and do about a dozen or 2 dozen of these things. And then I might have something to sell to y'all. I've had a lot of people asking for when there's some, I think it was Dee Lee. She's not in here right now. It's when I used the autumn leaf and the peach tones. She definitely wanted one of those that I did that day. So we are going to play with epoxy, but we're going to do, again, some more experimentation slightly. Okay. Now, I know for a fact, I've done this on the wood boards a lot. Varnish dries really quick and can be resined right on top of. And so I have some pieces that need to be touched up. There's one across the room that's really huge, and maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to have the camera way, way up in the air, and you won't be able to see me on face very much because I want to cover over a previous resined piece. What I mean by that is maybe I've got something resin that isn't exactly perfect, right? But if I put a second layer on, it's gorgeous. This is that piece that all the epoxy seized up as I was trying to put it down. And then what you're looking at, John, see that's all those blue flashes around the edges? Okay. This is what happens when epoxy is at its 6-hour timeline. It still has tack. And if you rub interference mica on it, it becomes part of the finish. This will not rub off. Look at my fingers. It is not rubbing off. It is permanently. Yeah, all I did to this, though, guys, is I just took some sparkle red, right? I haven't touched it up yet. All I did was took some sparkle red. See the sparkle red here? Kind of a funny little vein of sparkle red. And then I took some interference blue, and anywhere all the drippy little pieces went here and there. Okay. See the little drippy pieces here? I just took interference blue, rubbed it on. It becomes permanently part of the finish. Now, what does that mean? I've said this a few times. One of these days, I'm just going to have to pour out epoxy like 3 a.m. or something. I guess at 5 a.m. would be 6 hours later at the 11-hour broadcast, because it's right at the 6-hour point where the epoxy is no longer sticky, but it does have a tack. It's pliable, can be picked up. It can be molded, okay, and shaped. Well, also, while it's in that point, any mica you rub on the surface, it becomes part of the finish. And then once the tack time's done, that full 24 hours is done. There's no way you're rubbing this off of this, okay? It's permanently part of it. So that is another cool effect with epoxy. If you want to kind of get like have your first layer down and then pick patches where you kind of want to do interference here, interference there, especially Kathleen McGee, who's doing a lot of the galaxy stuff, you know, maybe where the white clouds are, you know, in her galaxy pour, she can just gently take a brush and kind of put in some green and blue gas clouds on top of there, rub that mica in there. And then when she goes over with it with another layer, everybody's going to go, oh my God, how did you do that? So we're going to try to touch this up, but I want to experiment on the tiles first just to show you that it works. I know it works. You need to see for yourself that it works. That it'll dry quick enough and we can do epoxy over the top. Now I have some epoxy poured back there, but I've not mixed it. So somewhere in the middle of this broadcast, I am going to have to take the 3 minutes. It'll be a good time to also let the varnish dry on these surfaces that I'm going to play on. And then we'll do some epoxy over the top. I do want to experiment with these 2 turquoises that I've made. And then something else fun I want to throw into the broadcast. But those of you that are still fairly new to what I'm doing here, also some other color mixtures too I'm going to do. But I kind of want the new people to see what I'm doing, kind of bring you up to speed. Thank you. My pleasure, Miss McGee. Anything for you, darling. All right. So we're part of the Color Art Club. Anyway, let me get my camera over. Let's see what I can do to get some thoughts on what I had made. Now, this morning, this was on my table. This is a bluer version of the turquoise. And like I said, this is the greener version of the turquoise. I need to actually test these, okay, and see how they work. Varnish is varnish or resin magnifies the colors the best. It's always a great way to show it off. I just also happen to like glazing with varnish on the top of stuff. So I've got my Josonia here. It doesn't really matter. This particular bottle is satin, but everybody asks. I do have both satin and gloss on in my rack. Just happens to be using the satin at the moment. I did find my smaller spoon because I don't want to waste the varnish. Yeah, this is a 1/4 teaspoon, so full. It's just going to give me enough to experiment and see what I've made so far. How did those colors turn out? Are they what we're looking for? Now this one is supposedly bluer. They look a lot similar in the bottle when they're dark like this, so it's good for you to actually kind of see that and then watch me fight to get the top off because these little lids are not exactly designed for, oh, come on, Leslie. I got the top on a couple hours ago when I made this. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that's supposedly bluer. It still looks very green to me. I'm going to put 2 drops in here because I'm not mixing it. That was 3 drops. I'm not mixing anything else in there. This is the greener one. Why choose Josonia? There is no, the varnish I like to paint with. I like Josonia. It also reacts. It's on my table. 1, 2, 3, 4. I suppose if you're doing varnish glazing, you could use that, what's that one in the can? It's a little bit cheaper. It does yellow. Liquitex varnish is good. Bright Tone's really pricey, but happens to be probably the best damn varnish out there. You guys have never seen Bright Tone. Now, this does look still kind of green in the cup to me. My first instinct is yes, it's still a little bit green. I know I have some smaller spoons here. A couple little smaller sticks. Now you guys can hear me fine because we're working on the microphone on my lapel. So a big thumbs up and a yes would be great. And you guys can actually hear me. Now, once I put blue in this, right, interference blue in this, of course it's going to turn it blue. But I'm already can tell by this that the final batch, I just want it. Here's a tile here I'm going to play with just for a second. I just want it a little bit more of a teal blue. It's still looking a tad green. Looking for paintbrushes here. That wasn't something that I actually planned. All the brushes are behind me right now. Try to keep stuff out of the way when possible. I mean, in the bottle, of course, I was in the other room in different light. That's actually not a bad turquoise color as far as turquoise goes. I know that if it had a little touch more blue to it, it would create more separation for what I'm doing. And then the one that's more green, this definitely looks more green to me, but because we're working with the internet and how the internet works, and color, and we're looking, you know, you're looking through your monitor, which looks completely different than it's running when it's right in front of your face. This looks a lot greener to me. Yeah, it looks a lot greener to me on the painted out tile. Now, if I put a little mica in here, of course, I can slant it. It's really easy to turn this right into a Guatemalan green by adding, you used the resin last time as well. Good. I love my Jo Sonja. I mean, Bright Tone's a beautiful varnish. Jo Sonja is just a really great product. I know they have sales all the time, but you know, Casey's asking a valid point. Is there a particular reason? I think now it's a habit, right? We know that we use it for creating the activation when you're using cell activators. Jo Sonja varnish is a beloved varnish for that. So I just happen to have it on my table. So yeah, that one looks greener, one looks bluer, but I think for the final version, this looks fine for the greener teal. This one I'm going to add just a touch, I mean a pinch more blue to it, to the final recipe. That way you guys have options. So when you want to take this, let's say you wanted to lighten it, and now in set 2, the mixing white was accidentally put in there. It's been changed out now. Mixing white is actually a white for fluorescence. It's called invisible blue is what it's actually sold under, but it's a mixing white. It's a very, very transparent white. Very transparent. You're going to see me put this in there and say she didn't lighten it all. I mean, I just put 5 drops in there. And I did wipe these brushes off just to try to get the excess water out of them. You're not going to see that much difference by putting that mixing white in there. I think if it was mixed with the mica in there, it might show up. But the mixing white does lighten it. Now, one thing would be really cool is just take straight mixing white, put interference in it, right? And then use that also part of those gas clouds in a galaxy pour, because we know it'll glow in the dark, right? Even the mixing white's going to have some kind of glow in the dark. That's a little bit lighter, but I just wanted to bring up the concept of what the mixing white is about. If we were trying to make a batch and we absolutely had to have it lighter, we could. Okay, so I know for a fact when I get the final thing, and I needed to see this on camera working on a piece. I'm going to put some mica in it now. that I feel like the one that I'm calling bluer needs a little bit more blue. And I'm repeating myself. And if we mix this up with the interferences, it's definitely going to slant in the direction that we want to go. It's fine to use what in acrylic? Oh, Audra, Casey, varnish is not actually added to prevent creasing. I hate to disagree with you with that. The pouring medium, like your Liquitex pouring medium, is, uh, but I don't want to get into a long discussion about that. She does have a point. Varnish is okay, and it works with lots and lots of stuff. It's compatible with lots and lots of stuff. But I would never be promoting that it prevents the crazing, not varnish. I'd love to see more information on that, Miss Casey. Casey has a really great giant Facebook group where they learn lots and lots of stuff. Casey, if you wouldn't mind posting your Facebook group in there, it will be great. If not everybody has already joined, they should, because they learn a lot of stuff on your group, honey. Okay, so there's some interference blue. Here's a little bit of interference green. Oh, that's really going to separate these out now. Yeah, this is going to look like Guatemalan green. And see how fast that dries? I mean, that dries really quick. So with the mica in it, it does feel more complete. You're getting better coverage there without mica in it. This is the greener one with the green mica in it. Kind of liking how that looks. And then the bluer one, let me get the other brush. Of course, I don't have a lot of room here, but I can kind of go over this lighter one. Here's a one. Oh, maybe it does need its own spot. Look how pretty that is. Adding that mica in there. Wowzer, wowzer. That changes everything and how it looks and how it paints. So that interference green in the green, but that blue really, really pops in the blue or turquoise. Huh. That's pretty gorgeous. Good news is I can go over this with epoxy and I'm not going to ruin the tile, but the tiles are about, I don't know, 50 cents a piece, maybe less, depending upon where you live. And they're just cheap old white kitchen tiles. Now this is already dry. Nothing's popping off on that first green one I put down. And it dries really, 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 really quick. So I'm okay with these two colors. Now, I don't know if there's anywhere on this little masterpiece where I might want to introduce another color of turquoise, maybe over this Peribel area here. Might be nice to just brush over, touch up my piece. We're going to put epoxy on top of this. So it makes it a little bit more interesting to touch up my piece. And the varnish is going to dry really fast. I'm going to go right down here and try to create some kind of vein with that. So it looks like it belongs. Now you can even rub it out, even if you rub it out really super thin, so it's super transparent. Maybe you don't like the brush strokes, or maybe you don't like where you put it, but I kind of like that little bit of turquoise there. I think down here, this is kind of blah. Could use a little facelift. Again, this is it needs to be touched up. This piece needs some help, right? Here over here where it's like this creamy off white that almost looked like it got burnt. I mean, you can do this on top of an acrylic painting. You can do this on top of, this is epoxy. As long as I'm going to sue with more epoxy on top, it doesn't matter. Hi there, whoever popped in. Did you just pop back? Did we lose you? Now, I don't really want to do the turquoise on this hot pink. I kind of like that hot pink where it's at. I think the Perry Bell did come out a little drab. Now, the greener one, I don't know if I want to go 2 colors on this one. It's already busy enough as it is. But that's my little touch up for that right now. All right. Now we are going to make some more of that color, but it is going to be with epoxy. And I know we can add some varnish. You can add varnish to epoxy. Not intentionally. I don't intentionally do it, but it doesn't hurt if there's a little varnish. So I'm going to actually save this cup for when I'm getting ready to mix it for the epoxy. Save the environment, save some plastic. Another color combination that's kind of been on my mind. By the way, this is a funky silicone mat here because I know we're going to have epoxy here pretty soon. Is the lilac lapis. I haven't used much at all. I just realized the poor color hasn't gotten any exposure from me. Looking at it, it feels a little bit bluey, right? But what if I was to take some of that fluorescent red violet? I think this is the color. Wowzer. It's a hot, put on your sunglasses, John. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do 6 of the fluorescent violet. It's really a red violet. And I'm going to try one. There is no difference, honey. It's just the term. Epoxy is the more technical term. Resin is the term for the layman. Other than there's differences in the different epoxy products and resin products out there. There's plenty of differences in those. Whether it's set by lighting like UV resin and it cures by lighting. There's the old style resin that smells like yeah, it smells like turpentine. There's the now that is a pretty, that makes my lilac lapis really pretty. Whew, that is some gorgeous. Now, I actually probably could use that on this. But I mean, like violet's going to be the obvious thing they're going to want to put in here. And we know that that's a red violet. Yeah, so this is the lilac lapis. 1 drop of this. Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? Lilac lapis. I put it over there. 1 drop of this to, I think it was 6 drops of the neon fluorescent red violet that's going to be in the set. Now, while it has the red, it's got a lot of red in it. And your first instinct is going to be to put interference violet in it, which of course will work. I'm going to kind of shake things up. Add a little interference blue. Actually, if I really want to shake it up, shake it all over. Put some blue diamond in it first. Let's see what blue diamond looks like. Now, I'm waiting for someone to ask me what's the difference between the diamond and the interference. Diamond is a really big, giant in-your-face flake. Big, sparkly flakes. Big, sparkly flakes. The, let's see if I can find the other blues here, where the fine interference is super coverage. See how the fine interference gives you lots of coverage on that hand? And that's a really big flake. That's the diamond. And then the one in between is the sparkle. I show this every time because there's new people coming on all the time. And then one in the middle is the sparkle. So it sparkles, but still has more coverage than this. So they're like ultra fine. There's the sparkle and there's the diamond. So putting diamond in here will make it pretty gorgeous. Ooh. Oh, that's a color I want to make in the resin. I like what that lilac lapis did. I've had some feedback, and the lilac lapis, I think, for everybody's taste, was still just a little bit too blue. And so even if I'm just using the lilac lapis straight and want to brighten it up, a good shot of the fluorescent red violet, it'll definitely. Okay, now we're going to have to put this in epoxy because you cannot see this. I'm sorry. I'm going to be teasing you, telling you how beautiful it is. And then you can't see this. So I promise you we're going to put this in epoxy. See if I can paint this out at least. Maybe on our little test tile over here. You can see parts of it are still wet. Parts of it are still dry. Make sure there's no water in my brush. I just want this straight. But that blue, that diamond blue is, boy, that's pretty on top of that. Ooh. Was it completely dry below? Glitzy. Yes, I like it glitzy. Let's do it on a regular tile so we can see it, because that turquoise beneath may be covering it up. Just want to see what it looks like. It's going to be very rich. Yeah, and I can see the blue sparkles in this. I don't know if anybody else can. Yeah, interesting. So I like the colors that I've chosen. I could do a piece just with the turquoises and the purples and the copper. But I do want to do a couple more color mixes. I didn't plan on doing a really long broadcast today, guys. I've got to get back to my table. I have all these deadlines to get ready for you, but I couldn't miss my broadcast. It's Friday. We play on Friday. So let's see if there's any place here that could benefit from my really pretty purple. Probably. This could probably be dressed up a bit. See how it's kind of transparent over that resin? It's not as solid as it is on that white tile. You get some translucency if you paint it really. And even the pattern below is not going to get lost. And if you feel like it's too strong, you can still take your fingers and kind of rub it out, because you're going right on top of a surface that feels like you're playing with glass, right? I've been really meaning to get to this, and I want so badly to teach you guys about this tack time. But it's weird. I'm going to have to do a video in the middle of the night. And then 6 hours later, show how to add that finish to it, right? But, all right. So I'm pretty set on the lilac lapis. Where is that sucker at? Yeah, this and the lilac lapis. We're going to mix these up for our epoxy. And then we're going to do the turquoise. I do want to do a couple more color combinations I've been thinking about, even though I'm doing more on my table now than in front of you guys, but still. Won't be the middle of the night for East Coast. It'll be the morning for you guys, right? East Coast in the morning. All right, so if I'm going to do a piece and I want to keep it pretty minimal, I'm going to do turquoise, copper, this pretty purple. I think I need a warm color. I've got to get to something warm that we can play with. I mean, okay, I want to jump right to cotton candy, but I was scolded from using cotton candy too much that week when I was using the cotton candy and the cyan aqua and the bit of honey and everything I was doing. Fairy Art Mother scolded the crap out of me when we got the phone. She goes, "You need to start using other colors." She means well, guys. She's always got my back. So thank you, Fairy Art Mother, for always watching my back, sweetheart. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm liking that diamond in there, and I don't even know if the light's going to pick that darn thing up. I can get this camera right underneath that hood light, and then you guys can see it. I don't know. All right, let's get one more thing mixed. I kind of want to try, I don't know, something with the oranges. That's fluorescent red. This is fluorescent orange. In the meantime, we'll be mixing this and slowly getting the table kind of picked up because we only have so much shade room here. That's green shade blue. Okay, so let's do something with the orange. I might add a little neon yellow to it. Well, I'll tell you, last week, did you see that guava color I made? Ooh, it was fluorescent magenta and phthalo blue red shaded. It made the most beautiful center of a guava. I'm trying to come up with a fun name for guava. You know, like I can do mango tango or fruity tooty instead of tutti frutti. Names are important, guys. Everybody looks forward to my names, and then I sit and stress naming them for you guys, trying to get them all done. And of course, you know, I'm supposed to be the master namer here. Yeah, we're going to mix the one that's bluer up when we do our epoxy mix. I'm going to keep this mixing white handy to see if I can't lighten it up and then see epoxy. We know we're going to do these two colors. And I just want to test this out, make some kind of funky, orangey, warmer than like an ochre, but not quite as hot as a red orange. If that means, ooh, magnificent mango. Okay, do we get a thumbs up on magical mango, magnificent mango? What is the name of the stuff you put in the watercolor bowl? What watercolor bowl, honey? Fruity patootie. Ah, ah, ah. Fruity patootie, magnificent mango. I like fruity patootie. Tango mango, there you go. Tango mango. It rolls off the tongue easier. Fruity patootie would be hysterical. And I wanted to at least have one flipping name here that I could sit and sing to you guys. Oh, tootie, oh, fruity, patootie. However that song goes. Bop, ba, boo, bop, ba, bop, bang, boo. By the way, did everybody know that John is a famous lighting artist? I heard about all your escapades working at these fantastic shows, doing the lighting, Mr. John Niedenmeyer. So exciting. He's had such an exciting life. Okay, I want to go. How do I want to do this? I'm actually a little short of yellow. I know this looks like there's a lot in the bottle, but I had to thin this down. I need some real yellow in here. So I hate to do this to you guys, but you're going to watch me I doubt it's going to drop for me. Last time I had to pour it straight out of the bottle. So we're going to go, I know you can't see it, but I'll count the drops for you if you're doing it yourself. Okay, 1, 2, 3, come on, 4, 5, gonna go 6, but I don't want to force it. I want equal style drops. So there's 6 drops of the yellow. Yeah, the lab needs to get me more yellow. I'm actually out of yellow. Hi, Priya. How you doing, honey? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the show. Okay, so if I'm going to go ahead and use fluorescent orange, we do 1 drop of this. What is going to make it different? How do we make this look like some kind of funky orange? Adding another orange may not, I mean, Aztec yellow is still in the same family, right? What do you add if the color is too thick? You know, I wouldn't put it in the bottle. I try to scrape some out because you're using pouring medium with your stuff. She's got a valid question here. Now I'm going to add some of the mellow yellow in this too, because it's a different kind of yellow. You're using your pouring medium. The thing is, I don't want you putting anything in the bottle. Then you permanently change the chemistry of it. So don't add water, none of that stuff. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, that's kind of pretty all in its own. What was this, 6-1? Oh, wow, this is gorgeous. This would make me happy to paint with. Yeah, please, if I don't know if he's in that group yet, Casey. We need to get you two hooked up and talking about it. The thing is then you're messing with the, I mean, I just don't want you messing with it. Art Fluid is a pure acrylic. If you put a drop or 2 in there, it would help. It's just pure acrylic emulsion, nothing else. I just don't want you really messing with, yeah. See, what's the name of the group, Casey? At least type the whole name out for everybody. Now, the thing is, Michelle, you're going to get to the point where you're going to use these. You can take the side of the bottle and pour it carefully like I did and know how much you're going to mix up in your fabric medium in advance. And you might pour out, you know, 1/8 of a teaspoon and pour it directly into here, right? And get it into your mixing medium. Of course, scrape it as much as you can. A little drop of Vivid Art Fluid in this to clean it out is not going to hurt anything because Vivid Art Fluid is pure acrylic emulsion. But putting it in the bottle, I'm going to do my very best to stray you guys away from putting it in the bottle. You don't want to permanently mess with what's in the bottle. But I get your point, especially Michelle is pre-mixing up a lot in advance. And so she's going to need more than the eyedropper. Same thing with RK3 when she's going to be doing pieces for countertop. You're going to want to be measuring out 1/4 teaspoons or 1/2 teaspoons, and you can. You can measure it out in a spoon. You're not stuck with the dropper. You guys just saw me do that. Now, I really love this color. Be honest, I don't want to change it at all. I was going to put some mellow yellow in it. I love it. We're going with this. I'm actually going to run with this and go ahead, and I'm going to turn this into, we're going to start mixing up the epoxy now. So this, they've been sitting behind me, ready to go into container. You know, the last couple times I've tried to mix my epoxy in advance, I spent so much time on the camera talking. This time, but I have had them sitting there waiting to just dump together so I didn't have to open up my bucket in the middle of my broadcast. Sorry, John. Sorry it's buffering. Nothing I can do about that. Thanks for letting me though, because I can repeat whatever I was saying for everybody once we're all back and we're playing. So you wait. It has to go 3 minutes, or I actually go to 180 stirs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, Hazel just asked the same thing, Priya. Now, there's different types of epoxy / resin, but the term epoxy and resin means the same thing. Epoxy is the technical term, resin is the layman's term. But then you've got casting epoxy that's meant to do the big squares that you put the wedding flowers in, right? Then you've got the UV, of course they call it resin, but it's still epoxy. UV resin that is cured by light, like the light that sets our fingernails when we're going to get our nails done. You've got the old style resin that they used for surfboard, which smelled to high heaven, and you poured the clear out in like 7 to 10 drops of this red stuff that went into it. I mean, epoxy's really changed over the years now, because now there's the 2-part epoxy, it's equal. Now it's done by volume. So the side of the cup actually has a measurement there, 8 ounces, okay, which is what I used. It is not put on a scale. Do not scale out a 2-part epoxy. It will not work. Okay. Now, Fairy Art, whether she's not in here, she'd be scolding me again. She got me one of these little things that I could turn on and mix at the right time in the broadcast. I'm probably going to have to call John. Oh, he's a smart gadget guy who got my microphone to work. So I'm sure I could figure out this little thing where the resin mixer goes. Has it been 3 minutes? We probably have about 30 more seconds to go. Sorry to bug you guys, but this is the reality of doing this. And I did not want the epoxy to seize up on us this time. We want the full working time, because I want to do some tile tests. I want to touch up that funky piece that had it all over. Okay, 49 when the clock flips over. Yes, dear. John said scrape the sides, and he is correct. Always scrape the sides when you're mixing. By the way, we had the chance to watch him do a resin piece with his camera on. Great job, John. How did that thing come out? You were on your 3rd or 4th layer. He had embedded some kind of twinkly lights in the board and was resining over the top of it. Lick the spoon? No way. I am not going to lick that spoon. Ugh, it's not frosting. Okay, then the other thing I like to do is I'll pour them back out in smaller increments, okay? Because if you leave it, and someone can type what the term is, if you leave it in a large volume container, it does a thermal something that it heats up quicker when it's in a big container. So when you break it down into smaller containers, normally I have 4 little containers sitting behind me when I'm working. Yep, exothermic reaction. That is what I was trying to say. So I actually pour them off into smaller cups. So if for some reason I get John and talking too long, they won't do that to me, we hope. Wow, that's the first time the resin's been really juicy like this. It's like the weather just got warm in the last few days, because my epoxy's been super thick and ice cold all these weeks we've been playing with it on camera. And today it's really super juicy. Really super juicy. Feels good. It's mixing real easily. All right, so I'm going to leave one of these up here. And by the way, if anybody's wondering where our boy Harley is, he's been banned to the bedroom. Harley was starting to climb all over everything, piles of canvases, anything he could knock down. Yeah. Also, different brands have different working time. Miss McGee is correct. They have different working times, different. Now, Stone Coat came out with, this is years ago, quite a few years ago, I don't know, 2018, 19. There are epoxies that are designed so you can do a trivet, right? And pull that skillet right out of the oven and put it on that trivet coated with epoxy. And because the epoxy can handle the high heat, so you can make really gorgeous kitchen trivets as gifts that people can put on their table. It's decorative, right? And then you put the big skillet and put it right from the oven straight on your kitchen table or wherever you're going to be serving food, right? All right, so these don't look that pretty, but yeah, KS has a 500. Stone Coat was the first one to come out with a 500 or 600. I know KS, a lot of these resin companies are catching up. Okay, so here's a piece I've been promising to show you guys, and it's always in the other room. This will be a blast from the past. This is the first day when we were playing with doing that Spirit Woman piece, and that woman was using silicone in the head to create a design. And I accidentally, something on this tile, it's been in my other room. But can you see, look at that bone black with the diamond blue in it. Look at the diamond blue and the bone black. And all I did was take the, what color is this? I think it's the Dancing Fuchsia, the bone black with the sparkle blue. And then I accidentally dropped silicone in the gold that day. And when I started smearing it around, holy moly, it not only made beautiful cells, but look, there's no pitting or anything in this thing. So I kept promising you guys to show you what happened to the bone black that day, where the, yeah, where that sparkly blue went in there, right? So pretty. All right. So I'm going to work on a 10 by 14, and then anything we have left over is going to go on the practice canvas. So this is a 10 by 14 tile. Let's mix up some resin for it. Mix up resin colors for it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this cup for the blue, right? Now, I did say I felt that this blue teal needed a little bit more blue to it. So what would I do? I would add another drop of green shade blue to turn this a little bit more blue. Don't get confused by the green shade blue. There's red shade blue and green shade blue. This makes things watercolors, turquoises, and the red shade blue, of course, helps with, of course, I can tell mine because the bottle's all messed up, the red shade blue. This helps to turn things more purple, more in the red family. This helps turns things more in the turquoisey green family. So let's get some epoxy in here. Get playing with these things because it is epoxy play day. We haven't seen the neons in the epoxy. They deserve their day in the sun. This is going to be that blue shade turquoise that will have the neon one, the special mixed one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put 10 full drops of that. That actually helps me with my math. We're making the final adjustment to the lab. And then I'm going to put just one more drop of the green shade blue in there. That should be enough. Come with me. How's that song go? Something with your imagination. Ba, ba, ba. I love the imagination. You know, we were kids. I don't know, when I was a kid, we went through the thing where, use your imagination. And then it's like, you're too much of a dreamer. Stop using your imagination. Well, make up your mind. Yes, I am using art resin. Willy Wonka. Is that a song from Willy Wonka? Hey. Okay, so there's some interference blue. Now this is going to, we know what interference mica does. What does it do, kids? When we're adding interference mica to a color, what does it do? All together now. I'm waiting for the chorus. Nobody wants to play with me right now and answer. Bend the light. Yes. Yes, the first song in Willy Wonka. I need to watch that movie. Okay. Oh, this is going to be pretty. I can already tell. Yes, indeedy. Oh, yeah. Talk about imagination. Oh, I want to crawl right into that. Absolutely. Oh, that's pretty. That extra drop really helps. It looks green to you? Does this still look green to you, John? Really? We need to play with your monitor because this should be looking turquoise to you. You feel like an addict watching these? By the way, nice video you did the other day. Anybody gets a chance to go look at Medina Domestic Art Studio. She has a YouTube channel. She was showing the basics of adding some Purley pigments to her fabric meeting and painting the background of one of her pieces. So I highly encourage you to go check her out. There was a little advertisement for you, my dear, because I thought you did such a great job. Okay. Now I promised that we were going to mix up that pretty purpley color. It looks like I did not. Oh, here it is. I did save the cup. Save the plastic. All right. So this one we know was all fluorescent red violet and just a little bit of the lapis lazuli. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to go all in on 10. And here is our lilac lapis, excuse me, I called it lapis lazuli, lilac lapis, which has not been used by me enough lately. Poor baby. Feels like the redheaded stepchild stuck in the corner and not loved. That doesn't really look like a whole drop, so it kind of put in 2 half drops there. Wow. Wow. Wow, look at that without the mica in it. Holy moly. That made such a beautiful color. You see that color? Wowzer. Okay, I am going to go ahead, but I'm going to stick with the diamonds. I think an interference blue would make it too strong. I'm going to go with diamond and sparkle and pass on the interference because interference spins the light so much it could be too strong. So there's some sparkle. Yeah, it's really beautiful. There's some sparkle and there is here's green diamond. I don't want green diamond. I want, where is the blue diamond? Because I have to have my imagination. Ba, ba, ba. That song's been in my head all morning. I don't know why. I might have heard it as a commercial or something. It just kind of stuck in my head. Here is the diamond. So we've got sparkle and diamond in this. I think the interference would take too much away from how beautiful this color is. Sometimes you want that big sparkle to stand out. It's kind of why the big thing with the resin art, we have the ones that are made in the oh golly. Let me get a bigger stick. This deserves the big stick. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty. That is really good. That is, yeah, it's the Bling It. And they all come, there's a 3 particulates. You got your diamond, you got your sparkle, and then you got your interference fine. Look how that light is playing, and yet there's still transparency. I put 10 drops of that in there. And then when you look at what angle you're getting transparent, that's why we're getting such a strong shift. Because it's, I don't know if I've got enough colors mixed up. I might run out because I don't have a lot of that turquoise made up. But I guess we'll see. I don't want to go overboard and mix up too much because if I have any clear left, it can top coat something that I've got sitting back here. I've got piles of canvases sitting back here that need top coats. Okay, for this particular one, surprise, surprise, I'm going to use a color called Forbidden Ruin. This is our copper blend. It's not just copper mica. This is an actual mix. Let me get this out of the way because it's probably going to fly everywhere. This is a mix of 3 different particulate sizes. The Forbidden Ruin is a combo of a fine, a medium, and a large sparkle. Yeah, it's really pretty. We're going to see what it looks like in the epoxy. I'm just going to go ahead and mix what's left in this cup and this, and we're probably going to even need more. Even though we got to see, I don't know, I might use copper and gold. We might just use straight all copper. So I'm going to put a couple heaping 1/4 teaspoons in there. Yeah, speaking of Tiger Eye, ha 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 ha, Tiger Eye is here. Now look at that one. It actually looks like the stone Tiger Eye to me. And we worked really hard in getting this combo mixed, guys. See, when I rub my fingers together, see the ultra fine on my finger, and yet you can see the big flakes in the cup, so you know this is a blend. Yeah, this is a really pretty color too. I love the Tiger Eye. I'm so glad that the lives are breaking. Well, it gives me a chance to be right in front of you guys and she's right, and explain what was going through my mind when I made this stuff, right? Now this Forbidden Ruin is gorgeous. Yes, it is. Any of the ones that are just pure mica, anything that's pure mica is a bling. Now this is so stinking pretty. I don't know if I want to tint it. I'm going to put something in it, but what's weird is you're going to think this is strange. My brain immediately went to adding some sparkle red to this. But I don't know if it would be noticeable enough for you guys on camera. All right, so I promised I'm going to warm this up. Now, the most obvious way to warm this up would be some kind of orange or a red. I could do the fluorescent orange just for the fun of it. Well, this is actually, how many ounces is this? This is not quite 2 ounces. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops of fluorescent orange. Remember whether it's in a cup of just acrylic medium or even in the epoxy, it's not just the mica, it's not really complete. So you probably can't even see that much difference in this. But the fluorescent orange just kind of warms it up. Oh, I really want to add some of this I have this incredible sparkle red, but gosh, I'd have to use a lot. But since I'm on camera with you guys, here's what we'll do. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to fill that cup completely with to 2 ounces. It's not quite 2 ounces. Actually, let me go a little bit further. I'm going to go up to 3. Believe me, it's still absolutely gorgeous with that extra ounce of resin there. I don't see anything missing. And that was 5 drops of fluorescent orange in there. And all it did was just make it a brighter orange. But what I wanted to show you guys, and I hope it shows up, I'm going to try to pour out just 1 ounce of this. See if we can get to where it shows me I'm at a 2 ounce level. I'm at the 2 ounce level. A little bit more. I should quit shitting on yourself, Leslie. I should have showed you this. That's what my therapist would say. Quit shitting on yourself. This just adds some, and when you see this drop, that sparkle red just adds something really insane. What do you mean it's off the wall? So the sparkle red, it just adds another little lift to it. So we'll see what this looks like. I'm going to put I really like that color. I love that sparkle red in there, but I don't know if it's strong enough for you guys to see a difference. See, I'm getting a whole rainbow effect now. I'm getting the pink and the gold and the orange and everything in there by adding that sparkle red. That is absolutely stunning. Wow. Okay, well, let's see what we can do on my piece. I am going to add the silicone to the straight copper. Oh, can you see the difference? Good. It really, this gives you, you can see your warm copper. This actually, and it's the same thing, but that red, when you turn it and you really look at it, you're going to see pink sparkles in there now too that wasn't in there before. And that's what that red is doing, right? That sparkle red. Okay, we got one more color. This was that color I made with the 5 parts fluorescent yellow, 1 part fluorescent orange. I'm also going to put since I've already got it open, the sparkle red in this will be stunning in that color. And let's get some epoxy on this. I can't believe I'm holding myself back with only these few colors I've made. I'm normally the rainbow girl. She's a rainbow. Oh, wow. Oh. My little, oh my goodness. Can you see? I got to get a bigger stick. That's not showing very well. This is a really big honking stick. Yeah, this is going to be the mango, but we already have a mango mamba. So we have to have, what is it, tango mango? Look at that. Look at that color. With that sparkle red in there, that is insane. You see how much I can, it's pretty for me. Got to make sure it's pretty for you guys. Yeah, good. That sparkle red is gorgeous. Okay, I think we got enough colors for this tile. Turquoise, copper, a little purple in this. I'm just going to limit it to that. I do have plenty of clear resin if I have to grease the pan, as John and everybody says. It's called greasing the pan. What was in the last one? It is 6 parts fluorescent yellow, 1 part fluorescent orange. So it was 6 drops of the fluorescent yellow, 1 drop of the fluorescent orange, and then the sparkle red. Kind of like a cantaloupe. I think papaya is a sexier name, but can't we come up with another word that goes with cantaloupe or guava or mango that makes it silly and fun? Believe me, I'd love to do cantaloupe something. Cantaloupe. Does a cantaloupe canter? I don't know. Okay, we're going to put the silicone. I feel like I should put it in this color, but sexy papaya. Yeah, okay. Sexy's not a bad word. I'm usually saying I want to make us have a more sexy name than just red number 101 or 103A blue, you know. That's why the names like Lilac Lapis and, you know, when I first launched my company, people were mystified by my names because people weren't doing fun, funky names then. Kumquats. Yes. This is also the color of a kumquat. You guys are correct. So we're going to add a little dribble. And I'm going with copper this round. Easy, I'm the gold girl, but boy, I can't seem to get a drop off this darn thing. Come on. I know it seems like a lot. Okay, so only one stir around and that's it. I don't want to keep stirring this. What name? Janelle said a great name. Marmalade. We have a marmalade, and marmalade is a great word for a name. We have a marmalade in the primary elements. You may not be aware of that, honey. I love the word marmalade. And that is exactly that color. Marmalade's a beautiful word. Okay, just going to try to get my little area mixed off a little bit before I get messy here. I don't really have something to make sure this piece is balanced on. I'm going to have to put it on something that'll level it out a little bit later. I couldn't find my board that levels everything. Today's was just supposed to be a fun, quick piece. Oh, look at all the sparkle violet or sparkle red that flew all over this thing. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's see what I can do. It's not that big of a piece. I should be able to do it from here. And I'm not going to get caught up in, you know, if it's the perfect design or not. You know, this is, of course, if I call it an experiment, then I don't want people thinking that I don't want something pretty, because I do want something pretty. But I found that when I got myself so hyped up, thinking I had to do the perfect design in epoxy, I screw myself up worrying about it. I'm just moving the clear resin around. And yes, I did find this. I forget where I bought it. It is silicone coated. But no, I just found it on Amazon. I know Casey's been real pro trying to find silicone tools. You know, I could try to find somebody over maybe later this year for Christmas. I can get someone to make some more silicone tools for us. Twisted cantaloupe. But does it come off the tongue like the mango tango? What was it? What size tile? 10 by 14. Good question. This is a 10 by 14 tile. I just want to get a little lubrication here. And this whole table is covered with silicone right now. So if you're wondering. Now I have a foot pedal on my gun this time, so I can just warm it up so it slides. I'm trying to avoid having to put another glove on to do the whole smearing it out with my hand. May not be able to do that. May not work, but I'm going to try. It's a hassle to keep putting gloves off and on to do that. And these are not exactly light. These big tiles are heavy, but they're fun. And Kathy Lane, that artist that we were kind of mimicking her work the other day, she has a really nifty way of mounting these on an MDF board. She actually gets it about 1.5 inches, 2 inches wider than the tile, puts texture around the edge, and then the tile gets mounted in between, like sandwiched between the texture. And it's just gorgeous. Okay, so let's do this. I really like this color. It turned out really gorgeous. And everything's super juicy, like I said. So let's kind of do a little bit here. And kind of maybe a little bit here. I try to not get all caught up in the design, because then I will like mind screw myself that somehow I'm doing something wrong, or, you know, so. In hindsight, I wished I'd mixed up some black or white, which I did not. This is sure pretty. Well, look how translucent that is. Oh, I'm liking those two colors just there. Wow. So I know this purple is kind of going to be jarring compared to the rest of it. I don't think we're really going to make mud. Here, let me try to put some of this copper in here first. Now, I purposely did not wow. Let me just get a little heat on this before I do anything. I don't want to go overboard. I kind of want to be, I'd rather have extra resin left over. Come on, foot pedal, work. And now here's the thing. What tool am I going to use? I don't have a way to swivel this. Typically, I can pick up a tile and just go smear, 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 but I actually want to smear this copper into that color. Come on, baby. Look at what's happening here. See that lacing that's going on here? Ooh, and I'm loving that blue. Yes, I see cells and I'm loving that blue. I don't want that blue messed with at all. I think it's gorgeous. And I do love seeing those cells. Get something here I can wipe this off with. Yeah, I'm not going to go hog wild crazy. I have to cover the whole thing. I can always have resin to do smaller tiles. And I don't know about the purple. I mean, I guess I can add a little bit of the purple veining in here. I thought I might do it after I get it heated. I don't want to go over. What am I going to do? I kind of want to go this direction. Mirror it this way, right? I don't know, minimalist is kind of where my heart is at right at this very moment. Not too much, not too little. I have some copper in here that's going to have to be reused. I think I can get away with adding a little bit more of that blue right here, kind of blowing it over. I don't want to lose this blue. But since I made this purple, I feel like putting silicone in this. Okay. So since I said it out loud, I'm going to pour some of this off. See what happens if I add a little silicone to that. I've only left it so far with the what you call it, the metallics. God, that copper's pretty. It really is. Just a couple drops. This is almost a delphinium blue. This reminds me of the color delphinium in resin art. That's why I'm loving that color so much. Other than the sparkle in it is insane. Okay, so let's add some of this down here. I got a little bit coming off the edge, so let's get this back up on here. Interesting. You see the lacing in the purple? And then this other copper color that I made that doesn't have the silicone in it. I don't know. I've got a lot of copper on this. We got a lot of copper on this. I can't see what anybody's saying because I'm not looking. Now I'm going to look. Look at the difference between the coppers. Anybody mention this? What happened, honey? Karen. No, Karen, actually, you are here seeing it here for the first time for yourself. No, we've been experimenting with the fact. Oh my God, look at that stick with the turquoise and the purple and the copper on it. Oh my God. That is so, I love what that did. How do I get that on there? So, yeah, you can see clearly two different colors of copper. See how that copper has all that pink in it? And even both of them have the fluorescent orange, but this one without the sparkle red is much different. And I am loving that lacing right there. I'm going to add a little more purple right here. Since we got this big white space. And some of this turquoise blue, which is so freaking gorgeous. I'm loving how the blue and this purple with the silicone is reacting to one another, getting some interesting reactions. I don't want to blow it too much, and I don't want to swipe it too much, and I don't want to fiddle with it too much. I feel like I want to be you, John, like do one layer and another layer, another layer. Watching you the other day was really interesting, watching your work. You take your time, which I really admire. And of course, when you're on camera, and this is going to sound like a lousy excuse, when you're on camera trying to like do something wonderful in front of people in so much time, that's when you wish you had the luxury of, you know, layer after layer after layer. That's why once we move, once I get into the new house, it's going to be so different. I'll be able to do that. This is kind of interesting. It's developing. We're not sure why. We are not exactly sure why, Karen, because we all thought the same thing. Why is it not causing this? Oh, that's interesting. I thought this was the one with the silicone, and yet look at it reacting here. Very interesting what it's doing. I'm not even going to wipe this up. Look at these potential skin moments here. I have potential resin skin moments here. So I guess to just get you a camera, a full light's worth of this thing and get this under the light. Wow. Now I'm going to tilt it slightly this way just to get that white spot off. Not that I can't pour more color there. Actually, I think I am going to pour more color there. I don't really want to pour my design off. I'm kind of happy with my design. I'm going to put a little more of the turquoise in here. Even though I admit I really underuse this copper, the one with the pink, maybe a little bit here might help make it more interesting. Put that little bit of copper there and put it here on each one of these ends, kind of go up with that little copper ditty, and then blow it in. So it looks like it belongs because it feels a little bit off. Sorry, I'm sitting down, so I'm trying to do this from a sitting position. I apologize. I love that mango color, papaya, mango. It actually does look like the center of a mango. Papaya would have kind of a more peach to it. Not a normal color combination you might expect to be using. This is after all my piece. I'm going to kind of fill in some spots that could probably benefit from that. God, that color's yellow. Here I just filled this in and that is beautiful. I'm leaving it right there. I'm going to fill in any spots that can benefit from a touch up here. Remember, it's a tile, so it can only take so much paint, right? It's limited on, because a tile is a very, very, very hard surface. It's even harder than the wood. So remember that. You're kind of stuck with what it'll accept. But again, any little pockets, it looks like it's missing something. I'm going to doll it up. Here I can see still little white spots between the purple. So again, I'm just going to put, yeah, the violet's so pretty, especially against that bright yellow. Of course, yellow and purple are contrasting, right? So there was just a little white spot right there. I just kind of wanted to. I'm liking these purple veins I'm getting over that turquoise. That's that silicone giving me the patterns. Pick up a little bit of paint off the edges here. Anything running off, I can put right back up on the edges here, so it looks like it belongs. So, not bad. So what I know so far is my blue shade turquoise needed a little more blue. That's something we learned together. The mango made with that fluorescent yellow and orange is spectacular. That is definitely going to be a winner. I'm going to try to sit this thing between these two cans. Wish me luck. Pick this puppy up and then sit it here so it can drip and not get stuck to the surface. You guys can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I still have a little bit of more of these colors made. And what's interesting is I want to make skins. Golden parakeet. That's a good name. Now, this is causing a shadow so you can't see what I'm about to show you. But I feel like this is kind of nuts. I want to pour all the rest of this out to make some kind of resin skin. Okay, I won't. But I want to. All right, I'll take this tile. We can take some of the Mango Tango. I love that name. Take some of this delphinium color. It's really that lilac lapis. Look at that. Can you just see how beautiful that is? My God, that's such a pretty color. I want to bathe in this color. Seriously. And then take some of this copper that has a silicone over it. Run it right over the top. And see if we can't create some kind of pretty little patterns here. Once it relaxes. Wow. That's interesting. That copper and that purple. Whoa. That was not what I expected. Here, let me, I know I've got, I'm in your way. You can't see it, but I'm dropping the rest of this in here. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm almost there. Wow. Look at that. Look at the lacing, the purple coming through that copper. Wow. I could do a whole piece in just that color. This is out. Oh my God, this is mind-blowing how pretty this is. But I don't want to ruin my piece here. Let's see if I can scoot this forward. No, buddy, don't knock over. Mama needs you to stay right where you're at. And let me move you forward in a safe manner. So we got a little bit of room right here so the camera can see. Remember, I've got resin all over myself and I can't touch my camera right now. So I cannot wait to watch the beginning of this video. Hi, Lila. Watching me experiment with the epoxy. Yep. Kind of fun. This is pretty interesting what this is happening with that purple. Really interesting. I mean, I knew that purple and copper would be pretty, of course, but that lilac lapis mixed with the fluorescent red violet is mind-boggling. Remember that when you're painting at the show, my dear Michelle, you're doing all that fabric work. I'm just going to get the rest of it out of here. It's better than throwing it away. And a little bit over here. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting what this copper is doing with this purple, whatever this color would be called. Trying to get everything thrown away here so we have room to work. All right. Well, so it looks like I've got a little more clear epoxy mixed up, which means I'm going to be able to do some top coats, but we're not going to do it on camera with you guys. There's not enough room here to pull that off, but get this thing off. Yeah, this, I made up way too much epoxy this time around. I didn't need that much. Well, you know what I could do? I guess I can top coat that other piece. Let me put this tile here. I've got a little bit of epoxy here and a little bit of, I mean, it's not going to hurt to top coat this thing. I just don't have anything to kind of sit it on to protect it. And if I'm not careful, see, this is where the room issue is coming into place. Sit this back here, and then I can top coat this thing. I mean, I might as well put some clear resin on the top of it, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And it's hot. This resin's getting hot. It's a really good thing I decided to do that. Ooh, it's really warm in the cup. Yay. Just what I need. Get some of this over here before it goes off. When we did this piece, the resin was going off. It was so thick we barely got it down. So this is definitely a good use for the rest of this epoxy. Remember, you can always go over the top of it with varnish or anything else you want to. We've already proven that. Now, just for the grins of it, because I have the copper, I know this is risky, but why not put a beautiful vein of copper in my top coat? Can't I do that? And then blow it around. Could sure use another little bit of color. I don't want to waste all this epoxy. That's a lot of epoxy to waste. Get my little gun and blow that copper out. See if it floats for me. Just kind of in that white area where it's really getting boring. There's really no color in there. Woo, and it's lacing. Look at that. This is interesting. Ooh, look what it's doing. Holy moly. That's kind of tight. Look at that. Okay, now I got to make sure I've got epoxy covering everything because there could have been spots still missed around these edges here. Can you see where the copper is lacing? That's pretty cool. I mean, I've been wanting to do something with this piece. And there's copper even in the fall off, so I'm kind of doing the edges with it here. I know, oh, you guys can't see me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Look at the cells, yeah. The cell is forming because the only thing that's in there is that copper with the silicone. And it's creating this crazy, crazy, magnificent lacing on the top. Now I gotta find something to sit that on though. So something that will sit it up on and let it drip. That is safe. Find something safe. Okay, my Nova Gel Medium bucket. It's not going to look very sexy on camera. Sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of move this to a table to the right of me. It's already covered with plastic. And I'm going to put that piece on top of it to drip and dry. I don't want it sitting in that one section creating a mess like that. So I'm going to try to show you for a second. And then I'm moving it off to the right. Where do you store them? What do you mean? You can mount them on the wall like a canvas. Okay, so here's your crazy lacing, which you guys are going to see what happened there. See what happened when that copper laced on top. Now my piece looks a hell of a lot more complete. Really, really, really way more complete. I'm digging this piece with that on there. Oh no. The bucket's the wrong size. Damn it. Okay, sorry I said damn it on camera. I am literally sitting here with a piece of something and epoxy going everywhere and nowhere to put it. That top, shoot, will this work? I guess I'm going to sacrifice something else. Darn it. Give me a minute, you guys. I'll be right with you. That bucket was just a little bit too fat, and so that canvas will not sit straight on it. Darn it, Leslie, don't drop this. Then I'm going to put a canvas underneath it and another piece of plastic on top so it doesn't stick. I got a mess on my hands, kids. Sorry about that. A big mess. But that's what happens in a live. So what happened to Connie? Why is everybody saying sorry for her loss? What happened, Connie? Because I didn't see that. While you guys were watching me, something happened. Hope everybody's okay, sweetie. Whoever that might be. All right, well, as usual, epoxy day is really messy. So a little bit of business. So hopefully by Sunday, you'll get to be able to see the whole 16 plus bonus collection. Photo will be up. Individuals will not go up until about a week later. Oh, you late celebrating your birthday? Well, happy birthday. Check the level of the what? I'm worried about the resin tilting off my phone right now. I am like beside myself with resin everywhere. So Yeah, I'll check my canvas. I know it's maybe tilted, but I'm more worried about the resin I just saw dripping off my damn phone. Sorry for the damn. I got to get this thing cleaned up real quick. Yeah, it's dripping, but not that much anymore, to be honest. But I don't know if it's on the phone cradle. I'm wiping everything down with alcohol, or if it's actually on the phone. Thank you for saying it looks pretty. Thank you guys for joining me. Okay, other bit of news. All right, the member cards. So we have the new software installed, and we're just trying to get the level 1 complete and get all you guys loaded in there. Okay, that's why those old cards at the 40 for 50% off are still sitting up there. But if you're still considering getting one, or if you want to get another one to load up your cards, you better do it quick, because by Friday, before Friday, before a week from today, they will be switched out for 20% off and 15% off cards, not the big 40, 50% off. So if you guys are considering that, do it now. They will be gone. The neons, hopefully I'll have them all done for you. I will be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., but I try not to be distracted because, again, I'm worried about getting my neons done. So if I seem a little distracted, you know why. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm so glad to have you guys here. You know, when I'm getting ready to come on, I get a little bit nervous, I'll butterfly, but boy, as soon as I'm here, it is so much fun to hang with you guys. It really makes my day. So I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of Color Art Products, and I will see you guys next time. Hugs and kisses. Bye.